أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الله الكبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله الكبير. We are indebted to God today, and God has given us this huge opportunity, and we are humbled by this generosity from God. And so we have another day to redeem ourselves and make a better human being as God has designed for us to be. And so we have to follow His path and His will. Those are the things that we have to keep in mind, that these are not by accident. They are by divine design, providence, and God is in full control of everything. So we should be relaxing and do not lose hope. So we should remember these things, these reminders from God that He's the one who wants to take care of us and cherish us and make better people from what He has created. So keep that in mind and be grateful to the source of this blessing we have today. Again, this is a huge favor that God has bestowed upon us, and a huge blessing, and the opportunity is great. And so we should do good with in an altruistic way. Have nothing in mind that we want something in return. Some people, trade with God, and they want to do something so God will give them something back. We don't want anything, okay? We just want to seek God's face. This is for the sake of God alone. This is not something that we want in return, and so we have to remember this, that this has to be absolutely altruistic. We should again be grateful to the source, because He has given us so much that we cannot even count the number of God's blessings. So what I wanted to discuss with you today is just go to let's see, where was I? There it is. Okay. This is chapter 92. I just want to read this chapter. This has 21 verses. Al-Layl, the night. Okay. So these are very short surahs at the end of the Quran, at the end of the compilation, but they were revealed early on. Okay. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the All Gracious, the All Merciful. By the night as it covers, by the day as it brightens, by what created male and female. Your work are of various kinds. As for the one who is charitable and righteous and embraces goodness, we will direct him towards happiness. But the one who is stingy and rich and rejects goodness, will direct him towards misery. His money will never help him once he falls. Surely it is us who guides. To us belongs the hereafter as well as this life. Therefore I warn you of a blazing fire. None shall burn therein except the wicked, the one who rejected and turned away, avoiding it, shall be the righteous, the one who gives from his money in order to cleanse it. He wants nothing in return. He seeks only the face of his Lord, the Exalted, and he will soon be pleased. Okay, so we went through these 21 verses here. So the last verse, 92:21. And God is giving you the good news of a pleasing existence. Okay. And so it's a beautiful surah. Okay. It gets to the point very fast. And God is telling us here that 92:3, وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى, by what created male and female. These are the mechanisms that God is swearing by. Like he swears by the stars, by the position of the stars. Okay. So all of those things are perfectly calculated. What creates male and female has a mechanism. Okay? A lot of people think that this is God, and he says, why it says what instead of who. Okay? So they found a mistake in the Quran. These are the Arab linguists. Okay? And they know Arabic. So they get a committee, and this committee criticizes things and say how we can patch it. So as though God made a mistake. No, God didn't make a mistake. God created mechanism by which he does things, or through which he does things. One of the mechanisms is how to create male and female. Okay? So you have the X chromosome and the Y chromosome. The X chromosome and Y chromosome get together, that would be a male. If two X chromosomes get together, that would be a female. Okay? So they say, well, there's a probability of this and that and the others. No, there is no probability. There is a system, and we don't know that system. That's why we resort to probability. God knows that system, and that system is so intricate that God swears by it. That's why he says what instead of who. Okay? So a warning to those linguists. Okay? God swears by the night as it covers. Okay? Beautiful 24 hours. Okay? 12 hours and 12 hours on average. Okay? Go to the moon is 14 days and 14 nights. The day are 14 days long. Okay? You go to the South Pole is 6 months and 6 months. 6 months of darkness and 6 months of daylight. Okay? So this is what he swears by. And given people the best areas of the world. Not too cold, not too hot. Okay. We are going to be coming on July 4th, we are going to be farthest from the sun. The earth is going to be farthest from the sun. It's up here, yeah. Okay. In the middle of summer, it's very hot, isn't it? Okay. We don't think about these things, and we never thank God for it. Most of the land masses are in the northern hemisphere. During the summer in the northern hemisphere, we are farthest from the sun. Now let's assume it was the other way around. We were closer to the sun, with the northern hemisphere having the most land masses. The land masses that are dry, they tend to absorb heat a lot more than water. Southern hemisphere is mostly water. So during their summertime, they are closest to the sun. Can you imagine those few degrees of temperature that would be risen during the summertime had it been the other way around? Do we thank God for that? No. We go through our lives completely heedless. We don't care. We don't use our brains. We think that these things are supposed to be taken for granted. That's what I said. You cannot count God's blessings. Okay? That's how God designed. That's his intricate design. And we should be grateful for it. Okay? This is the beauty of His creation. I said we don't pay attention to it. If the southern hemisphere was too far from the sun, it would be too cold. See that? If it was the axis, the tilt of the axis was the other way around, it would be a disaster. You would have either really hot years or really cold years. You have a frozen tundra in the southern hemisphere because there's no land masses to absorb the heat. So we're never grateful for that. We don't care. We are more preoccupied with this worldly life. As we read last time in chapter 87. You are preoccupied with this worldly life. This is what you care about. When it comes to the intricacy of God's creation, nobody thinks about it. Very few people do. So we are grateful for this huge blessing that He's given us. We recognize it. We thank God for it. Okay? So as I said, when it comes 4th of July, a lot of people do hamburgers and hot dogs. And, they go about their business and that's it. Okay? But that time you're farthest from the sun. Okay? And you can actually find it when you go to our website here. Okay? Let's see here. You go to our website here, okay, it has very clearly here, around English translation, daily timing, click on daily timing, has all of this information here for you. Yeah? All this information according to your area of geographic area. So if you click on Baton Rouge, there it is. Okay? All of these things. When the sun transit is, sunrise, sunset, all this information. Okay? There it is. See? It gives you the distance in miles, the solar noon. Okay? This is miles distance. Okay? And daylight is this much. Sunrise, sunset. Okay, all this information is there. And so it gives you the distance from the sun in millions of miles. Okay. So as you see, it just keeps getting farther and farther. As the end of the week, June 15th, is 94,423,000 miles from the sun. And today, which is 94,359. So it gets increases until July 4th. July 4th, you are farthest from the sun. And so there is a wisdom behind that. There's a calculation behind that. They are all perfectly calculated. So God says. Okay. And again, we should think about those things. He said that God says those are the people who think about God's creation. Okay, they have a higher rank. They think of the intricacy of God's creation, and they're grateful for it. Okay. That's the beauty of His creation. Okay. So here, as I said, when we read this short surah, okay, very short surah, and as the day it brightens, okay, works are of various kinds. We all do different things. It's how God makes things go. But the charitable ones and the righteous ones, and embrace the ones who embraces goodness, will direct them towards happiness. That guy would be happy. He would have a happy and fulfilling life. The other guy, who is stingy and rich, rejects goodness, we will direct him towards misery. Okay. His money will never help him once he falls. Truly, it is us who guides. Nobody else does. God, only God alone does that. Okay, to us belongs the hereafter as well as this life. He is in charge. God is in charge. You like it or not, He is in charge. Therefore, I warn you of a blazing fire. None shall burn therein except the wicked. All those people who thought they're going to get away with murder. Okay? Nothing can touch them. The one who rejected and turned away, the arrogant guys. Avoiding it shall be the righteous. The one who gives from his money in order to cleanse it, he wants nothing in return, as I said. Completely altruistic. He only does it for the sake of God alone. He seeks only the face of his Lord be exalted. Okay? And he will soon be pleased. He is the guy who's going to be finally happy. He's the one who's going to have a pleasing existence. Okay. That's the beauty of this. Okay. And so keep that 92:21 in mind, and I'll go ahead and finish this unit. Allah Kareem.